So in today's video, I'm going to take my controller completely apart, show you a tutorial on how to open the controller, how to clean it out, and we're going to be using this spray right here. This is the B100 or BW100. This stuff is good for any kind of electronics, especially for controllers. It is not like a conductor, so it doesn't, it won't fry your stuff. It's mostly based alcohol, so once you spray your controller and stuff, it's going to dry super quick. While we're doing that and we're inside, we're going to show you can use this on sticky buttons that are just making noise. I had somebody comment about, a controller triggers making noise and stuff. You can use this stuff on that too. And while I'm in there, I'm going to show you a couple of things you can actually take out of this particular controller to make it a lot lighter that you don't even need in there. And I'm going to show you how PowerA tries to make a controller seem better than it actually is by adding a certain component to the controller that should never have been there in the first place. They could use the money elsewhere to actually make the controller better. But we're going to get all that right here, right now. Let's get into the video. Now, if you have another controller you want to see taken apart that I actually own, I've done a review on, just look in my Pro Controller playlist, and I'll link that below. And just, the controller you want to see me take apart and see if the BW100 will work, or you just need a tutorial on it. All right, guys, so the very first thing we're going to do is look at the stick drift on the controller. I have it pulled up right here. As you can see, this controller has stick drift out of the box. It is, well, it's not centered at by any stretch of the imagination. You can see the dots and the center mass is nowhere near where it should be. A 0.0002 is pretty standard. It's okay in my personal opinion out of a box, but I mean, we're at a 0.0 and then we get to numbers 38, 13, 19. I mean, and it can get worse. Like buttons sticking, like that just stuck. Like I'm not even lying right now. That just stuck. You see it. That's horrible. We're gonna try to fix all that and see if this controller can be cleaned or not. I just want to show you before and after what the stick drift is. Hopefully it's a little bit better than the numbers we see now. And if so, well, this stuff works and you might be able to clean your controllers and not have to go buy potentiometers, try to do all that kind of stuff. So let's go to our overview shot of the controller, and then I'll show you how to start breaking it down. All right, guys, and if I didn't mention before, everything that's in the video that I'm gonna be using today, you can find it in the link description below this. And then also, I have a kit that I use on smaller components, controllers and stuff like that, to take them apart. They have these super expensive kits out there called iFixit, but we're gonna use something that's a lot cheaper, that's just as good in my personal opinion. I haven't had no issues with it anyways, and well, I'll leave a link for this down there too. It's like 20 something bucks and you get all kinds of tools to break a controller apart. So with that being said, let's hop right into it. The very first thing you're gonna do is, well, this is simple. This is so simple. All right, we're gonna take the back plate off because we know that doesn't need to be there. And then we're gonna come to the front, take the magnetic plate off like that, so and so. And then honestly, guys, if you wanted to stop here and try to spray the B100 down into the potentiometers here, you can kind of get an idea, you can kind of see it. You would just simply spray it in from right here and then immediately work it around. Okay, spray it in a little bit more and immediately working around. And then you'll do the same thing for the other stick, and then you can see if your stick drift gets any better. We're gonna pretend it didn't work, and we're gonna go ahead and take the rest of the controller apart so you can get that tutorial as well. So let's start with that. So the very first thing you're gonna have to do is take out your Phillips head screws. There's a total of 8 of them right here. So we're gonna take all of them out right now. Once you get the 6 screws out, the 2 on the side and 2 right here, and then come up to where your volume controller is, put your thumb right here and just kind of lift. And then you're gonna see it loosen up, and then you're just gonna simply lift it out to where the triggers will slide out. They're gonna be held in there. just like that. There's your body. Here's your controller. A little magnet that holds all the screws in place so you can't lose them, which is awesome. All right, so the 3 screws I pointed out actually hold the motor in place. We are gonna take these screws out just to be safe. All right guys, so once we get those 6 screws out, this whole thing's gonna lift up like that. We're gonna have our 2 motors lifting right here, okay? So this is the first thing I wanna talk to you guys about is we're gonna set the body down and we're gonna put this right here. First thing I'm talking to you about is the motors on this thing. We're gonna take these out because this is gonna actually lighten the controller by a pretty good bit. And all you gotta do is just, you know, get your fingers around it pretty good and pull straight up. And there you go. That's gonna take 1/3 of the controller weight away, so you don't have to worry about that anymore, and this makes it so much lighter. The other thing, since we're talking about weight on the controller and stuff, this is what I wanted to talk to you guys about. PowerA and how they make you think a controller is better than what it really actually is. And it's these right here. Okay, there's 2 screws holding on each side. I'm gonna take them apart real quick and show you exactly what they are. Okay guys, so this is a weight. This is I'm guessing maybe a 2-ounce weight. It's got a number 2 on it. I could be wrong about that, but these are just weights. All this is lead in a controller. They put this in here so that when you hold the controller, you think it's better quality than it is, because I know for me, when I first held the controller, I was like, man, this feels like a pretty good, sturdy, beefy controller. And the whole time it's because of these weights. Why would we go through the trouble of putting these in instead of just putting the money that you use these? I mean, I know these are like a few hundredths of a cent or whatever, but it just seems scummy really to me that you would do something like this to your controller to make it seem like it's better than it actually is. So we're gonna take these out and leave them out too. There's just no point of having them in there. It's a wired controller. Wired controller is supposed to be light anyways. Every wired controller I've ever played with is light other than this controller because they put weights in it. So we're gonna take those out too, and then we're gonna get into the main part of the video. But I wanted to show y'all that and go over that with y'all just so you know that you don't need these in there. You don't need the rumble packs in there. Most of the games I play, I don't use rumble packs. You know, first person shooters and stuff. And you know, I have multiple controllers, so if I do want to enjoy that, I could totally just see myself playing with another controller that I haven't broken apart yet to do that. So while we have the controller apart, we're just gonna check other components on the controller as well. We're gonna check our triggers, make sure these springs and everything look good, make sure there's no gunk or anything that's kind of worked its way in there that's causing it to pull slowly, or you're getting a squeak. You know, like some people said, you can kind of throw some of that cleaner on here and just work it back and forth and then wipe it off with a microfiber cloth. All right guys, real quick, I just want to go over the buttons with you guys real quick. If you're getting sticky buttons and stuff on your XYAB, you can take these out and clean them out real good with this spray. Even if you want, wipe them down with a rag. While you're in here, we can use some airsoft, or if you might see people using vacuums nowadays to clean these things out, you can totally do that too. While you're in here, you might as well clean everything out, get everything working good. You know, touch up all the buttons. You could do it with the D-pad as well. They all just kind of come out in this position here, and just kind of, you know, work the buttons, get them nice and clean, and that way you don't have to worry about taking this thing apart again in the future, really soon anyways, to have to re-clean everything out. But we're gonna show you right now is this with the potentiometers. Okay, so these are your potentiometers, all right? There's 2 things we're gonna do here. The first thing is we're going to spray the potentiometer. I do wanna go ahead and get a Phillips, or we're just using a Phillips head. We're gonna get a very thin flathead now, and you'll know why here in a second. But the first thing we're gonna do is just take the the BW100 spray, and we're just gonna put it right here in the potentiometer. Just like that, and we're just gonna rub it around, working it back and forth. This stuff's kind of cool on contact too, FYI. Doesn't take a whole lot to do this, guys, just a little bit of a spray. 1 can will go a very, very long way. Okay guys, so after you spray the BW100 inside the potentiometer, usually right here, these right here are your strike plates. As you can see, the strike plates in there. On a lot of these, you can pull them apart, but what I'm thinking is these right here are locked in by these little plastic tabs that go around the joystick for some reason. I'm gonna see if I can't play with it and see if I can't figure it out to show you how to take it apart just a little bit more. So that kit I bought has these little tweezers in it, and it looks like this can be pinched and then pushed in a little bit. So I'm just gonna, okay guys, so if you pinch, let me see if I can show you guys. You buy the kit I have, the little white thing right here, it's got two little tabs on it. You pull them together with some tweezers and just kind of pull. The potentiometer will actually back away very slightly from the cover of it for anyways. And that way you can come in here and then spray the pad itself with a little bit of the sauce. And then you work it around. Just like that. All right, we'll do it one more time. And then when you're done, all you need to do is come back in here and just pop. It popped right back on, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do that for this strike plate, and then we're gonna do the same thing that I just did over here to this side, and then we're gonna see what we got to work with from there. Once you're done cleaning the controller, you mess with all the buttons. You know, like I said, we have this thing apart, so we went ahead and did a full clean on everything, buttons and everything. We're putting everything back together now. Of course, it's gonna be the reverse of how I take it apart, but I'm just gonna do a quick speed through on how to put it back together. You can watch, you'll see, rewind, slow it down, whatever you need to see. If you don't see me, you see me doing something. If there's anything I need to explain, I will stop the video, of course. Again, guys, we are gonna leave all this extra stuff out that I have. So it's, you know, the motors, the extra weights, and the brackets that were holding the weights in, and the two screws that were in there. Just, I mean, it's weight, so we're gonna leave that out as well, and we're gonna go from there. So let's do it. All right guys, when you get here, you're gonna put these two little screws back in that will hold this board in place. You don't have these brackets in here no more because we're taking them out. They would normally, you would put the other two screws through there to get them to sit in. You could, if you want to try to figure all that out and put them back in, you can. I'm not going to worry about it because once I put the cover back on this, there's going to be two more screws that's going to go down into these two holes right here to hold this board in place, and this thing is not going to go anywhere, so I'm not going to worry about that. So just the two smaller screws that you took out, you took a total of 6 out, is you're going to put 2 of those back in. And again, it's just the one here and then the one here. And then we'll put the back on, and then we'll go from there. You shouldn't have to force anything right here. If you have to force it, that means it's not right. Just kind of back off and try again. You're gonna have the little tabs on the joystick, on the triggers. Make sure you watch for those because they gotta go inside right here. So you're just gonna slowly pull it to get it to go inside. I got that in. We're good to go. I'm gonna put the rest of the back on and put the front back on, and we'll test it out, see if it did anything. Yeah, I don't think it helped a whole lot on this controller, unfortunately. This just tells me that the strike plate potentiometer, something's wrong with this. I did a review on this controller back a couple weeks ago. I'll post a video here in a minute on that actually. And I was having stick drift out of the box. I didn't know if this would work for this or not. This tells me that there's probably something wrong with the potentiometers and the strike plates and all that. All the buttons work. We got all the buttons working. All right guys, there you have it. So Unfortunately, in this particular case, the BW100 does not work with it, but you at least have a better understanding of how your controller works, how to get all this nonsense that's in your controller out of it to make it a lot lighter. If you want to see the actual review on this controller itself and why I'm not a big fan of it, especially now that I try to even clean it and it still has bad stick drift, make sure you check out the video. Let's put it here. Yeah, we'll put it right here. Check out the video right here. And as always, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Peace and love.